Hash browns. Let's make some. We got potatoes, russet potatoes, peeled, sitting in water. Uh, we have a grater, which will grate those potatoes. There's an onion. We'll use about a quarter onion, one egg, and a little bit of flour, salt, and pepper. And we're going to grate those potatoes directly into the water, just to keep them super white. You know, if you let them sit in a bowl, it doesn't take very long where it'll start to oxidize, and yeah, it just doesn't look very good. Much more pleasant to look at this way. So you get a couple potatoes in there. I would probably use three of these small ones. I use two, and the reason is one egg. Uh, Probably use a little more potato in it, but it was fine. Everything's good. So yeah, and the flour, salt, pepper. We use about I don't know, about a teaspoon and a half of flour in this amount of potatoes. They're not large potatoes. I should have used three of them. But there it is. Now we can grate up our onion. And find the onion, grate that in straight into the water. I'm going to use about a quarter of an onion. You can use a little more if you wish, but I think quarter's about right for two large russet potatoes. I used two small russet potatoes here. Should have used three. I keep saying that, don't I? Anyways, it's all in the water now. That's all good. It'll work out. So, yeah, pick out any big pieces of onion you might have dropped in there. That's a good idea. You know, just to have everything at a consistent size so it cooks properly. And hey, who wants to chew on a big piece of onion when you're wanting to eat hash browns, anyways? So now we're going to have to strain these potatoes very well. And the best way to do that, well, one of the ways to do that is find yourself a clean kitchen cloth and wring her out. Yep, just, I know it's hard on the hands, but you do small batches a lot easier than a big batch. Uh, you know, fist size. And just do it in little batches. But make sure they're dry, good and dry. That's important. And find a bowl. If you're organized, you'd have one here already. There's one. And yeah, you can see now they're very light, fluffy, and they actually want to separate very easily. Dry. Good. Next. Another batch. One thing I thought of when I was doing this recipe was actually using frozen shredded potatoes, and maybe not shredded like we did here. I would julienne is more what I would look for, something that may have been run through a mandolin, so you get nice matchstick even pieces. It's important everything's even. You don't want big chunks because the big chunks won't cook when the other ones are, the other part is cooked. You don't want that happening. So that's pretty important. We drained away the water and we kept the starch. We were careful to pour the water out slowly so that we keep that starch. We want that in the recipe. That'll help bind things together. That's some good potato starch there. People pay good money for that. A little salt and pepper. Put it in there. White pepper if you have it, it's good. I'm using black pepper here. That's what I got. That's all. Some fresh ground black pepper. Throw that in there. Now, you might see a few specks of pepper in there, and if you don't want to see that, white pepper for appearance reasons, and it gives a little more heat too to the product, so easy on the pepper. So here we go. Mix up that salt and pepper in those potatoes so it's kind of evenly spread out. Then we'll add our flour and our egg as soon as we locate it all. hmm Yeah, using frozen though, frozen shredded potato, for lack of a better word, uh, probably be a way to go with this type of recipe because one, it's already dried and pre-cooked and or par cooked, anyways, blanched. So that would speed up the cooking process a little bit more. So, at low temperatures, you'd heat the potatoes through, it'll cook a little quicker, uh, uh, and the bottom might just brown quite nicely. You know what? I'm going to search around and see if I can find a decent julienne potato that's in the frozen aisle. I'll take a look. That's kind of a thought, maybe for next time. Uh, I'm just wondering what the end product might look like with frozen. It might be a better choice. Although this is traditional. As long as people have been eating potatoes, well, a few hundred years. I don't know. We haven't been eating potatoes forever. So, you know, Jewish people, they have their Hanukkah. And, it's not Hanukkah without this particular potato in this style. Uh, I'm sure other ethnic groups have their own version of this. Spice it up the way you like. So let's cook it off. Got a good hot pan. The oil's not too hot, but it's a good hot pan. It's ready to go. That's when we put our potatoes in. And I'm trying to be gentle. I don't want to smash it down too much, but I'm more trying to form a patty, uh, but being really light with it. So, yeah, that looks about right. A little more, a little less. I guess that's about 3/4 of an inch high. Yeah, just clean up the edges a little bit. Find yourself a little tool. And just kind of gently smoosh it together. There you go. Good enough. So now, the process of slowly frying it. Check your heat. Make sure it's not too hot. If you scorch it in the beginning, it doesn't change in the end. So nice and easy with that heat. Take a little bit of time to cook that potato through. There's a lot of potato there. So we have to really slowly cook it and get a nice browning on the bottom. And if we try to do this too fast, it'll be black on the outside and raw on the inside. So you don't want that. Another way of doing this would be to put a lid over top. It will help cook or speed it up. But open air is traditionally how it's cooked, just like this. So that would be a Latkes, and that one's ready. So it looks pretty good. I know what we should do. I think we should cut it up. Now, when I cut this thing, it's crunchy. Nice crunch on the outside and tender a potato on the inside. It's wonderful. It's actually really nice. Just ask Rose. She'll tell you. And yep, that's what it looks. And I'll give 3 to Rose, and I'll keep 1. A little sour cream and onion, and I made some applesauce. It's also traditional to serve with this potato, and I made that to go with it. Just nice. There you go.